I love dumb party games, and Pico Park Classic Edition might be one of the most fun and dumbest, and is critically free. The game essentially served as a prototype for the more polished sequels, but does have online multiplayer for almost all of its 22 levels. Each a wacky and unique co-op puzzle for up to 10 people, with each level having 9 variants depending on player count, and usually just getting harder and harder the more players are present, with hilarious and goofy challenges like platforming off of your friend's head, stopping timers as close to 0 as possible, co-op Tetris and Breakout, and plenty more. The game was developed by TECOPARK, a two-man team of a designer and a composer based out of Japan, I think. And Classic Edition is a PC exclusive, and as I mentioned, it's free, which makes it very easy to get at least some kind of group together. All the sequels are larger games that actually came to console and therefore cost a little bit of money. Pico Park Classic Edition is one of the dumbest and most fun party games I've ever played, especially when our group was at its largest. I think just about every minigame made me burst out laughing, and almost as many enraged me. At its base level, the game is a very simple platformer. A jumps, and that's it. You can stack players, and everything else is level design. Gimmicky, weird, silly level design. There are a lot of platformer levels, stacking players to get to high up or distant keys for doors, but often with goofy twists. The whole stage is red light, green light, and if you're caught moving, you have to go back to the start. Platforms that sink or raise depending on how many players are on them. Dodging projectiles by having the whole group move in unison, and it's all good, wacky fun. Coordinating as many as 10 people is a nightmare before considering sabotage and stupidity, and it makes the whole thing just the best kind of chaotic mess. However, the game is also at its strongest the weirder it gets. 10-player Arkanoid, where everyone is clambering over each other and screwing each other over on accident in a desperate bid to catch one of the random balls, and Tetris, well, I guess it's 3 tile blocks, so it's like Tritris, where everyone needs to coordinate lines, are both incredibly dumb takes on classic games in a way that quickly makes them into chaotic comedies. The bungee level always feels like it's going wrong as the weight balance quickly gets out of control and everyone is dragged off. I really wish there was more with the bungee cord tying all the players together, because holy fuck, that is one of the most fun levels in the entire game. They should have been doing that all the time. There's one where you have to volleyball a projectile into a jar, and the whole thing feels like an engineering project where you're constructing little towers out of players in order to get an extra inch in, and every level has 9 variants for every combination of player size to make it possible, so that's pretty good. There's only 22 levels in the game, counting the battle mode, which is just clamber on everyone to get the highest, so it's very brisk. But every level is so laser focused on some hilariously dumb idea that takes a mountain of coordination that I couldn't help but love every single one. It shouldn't be this hard to roll one fucking dice block. Please just hit it. I don't know, there's something magical about the whole game. Levels don't have any instructions, and the gameplay at its core is so simple that a lot of the fun to be had is working out what's going on and how to execute it, like with this very confusing ghost level where eventually you'll get the ghost to move and have to scramble to figure out what you did exactly to make it happen. And the wackier the levels get, the more fun that process of discovery is. And the game's simplicity also makes it a fun party game. There's no need to explain any complexities. Just like Jackbox, pretty much anyone can jump in for a short burst of chaotic fun. Every level is something different and goes through ideas so quickly that even the relative duds end up being over quickly enough for something entirely different in the next level. Pico Park Classic Edition definitely has the look of a game made by one guy. I guess 2 counting the composer, but I don't know how much the composer contributed to the art design. The background is always a sort of off-white. I mean, they picked a pleasant white, but, you know, look at it. The platforms are simple, tannish platforms, and the characters are all simple pixel block animal people. I want to say rabbits, but I think they're intentionally vague enough that they could kind of be anything you want them to be, and they just come in 10 different colors. They're very adorable in that simple way that, like, something comprised of 20 pixels can be, with the big eyes and little bouncy animations. The game looks simple all around. There are a few unique assets in certain levels, like the ghost, and the ones that do exist are also equally simple, like 2-frame animated sprites that have that kind of basic charm to it. I'm not complaining about the simple look by any means. There's definitely a charm to how basic everything looks. The simple soft colors, big eyes on the characters, and singular enemy in the game, and the lack of shading are all delightfully amateurish in a way that's both obviously utilitarian, like you're certainly not getting lost in any clutter, and this is absolutely like something one man could make on his own without having a huge budget, and it also really shows that you can get away with anything if your game is fun enough, and this game definitely is. I mean, if you can make a cute set of blocks, you can absolutely make a game. On the other hand, only having 3 songs is a bit maddening. The title theme is a silly little chiptune that reminds me a lot of Pokemon Red and Blue, especially on the early routes. Cheery, a bit tinny, and very repetitive, but charming, and you'll likely only hear it for a short time. Same goes for the level select menu. The actual music that plays in every level is less grating, a sort of silly chiptune you'd imagine like a fishing game or something, but over the course of the game, and mind you this game is pretty short, it certainly takes on that earwormy and kind of annoying quality that drives you insane as you watch someone fail a jump 15 times in a row. It's not that hard of a jump, man, you just hold right and press A. Both songs are decent, but if Pico Park 1 doesn't have like 3 or 4 different songs for the stages just to keep things fresh, I might actually go insane when I get around to playing that. Pico Park Classic Edition is free. I mean, what more do you need? If you can get a couple people together, you're gonna have a good time. And honestly, it gets better the more friends you have. I mean, it gets more frustrating and more annoying, and you'll be shouting at your friends in the call quite a bit more. I'm sure it's still fun with 2 people, but with 4 it already becomes a mess, and at 7 or 8 it crosses into just complete insanity. Try it blind and pull as many people as you can into it with you, you literally have nothing to lose. It's one of the most fun party games I've played in ages, a genuinely hilarious disaster, full of unique ideas that make every single level something new. The simplicity makes it very easy to get into, despite how evil it can be, and gives the game a plucky underdog feel. You can tell how much the singular dude who made it loved his cute little box bunnies, and that he just wanted to make something silly for the pure joy that being locked in the silly box gives people. I wish the game had multi-regional servers. Not being able to play with my British friends was very sad. You can get around it with a VPN, but that's kind of a gigantic pain. But outside of that minor issue, this is a shining beacon of wacky Friendslop that makes me really, really want to get its sequels to see what kind of wacky scenarios it throws me into next.